Hello there, this is Aline from MasterYourWeb. You're watching HTML tutorial for absolute beginners, and in this video we'll have our final application in HTML. So let's begin. Alright, so our final application will have a few requirements. So the first requirement would be the fact that we will need to display a list of actors, which will consist of 5 actors. Then we will need to display an information about the fact that we have the option to select a specific actor and go to his page. Then we will have a link to every actor, which will take us to his specific page, as I've previously mentioned, and we'll have the option to see the actor's name, photo, age, description, and then a go back button, which will take us to the initial page, from where we will have the option to click on a link, which will take us to the add a new actor form. Of course, since we are only doing the HTML side of things, the form itself won't actually add another actor, but still I believe it's going to be a good start. Alright, I guess that, as you might have seen, the style is pretty similar with the one that we had in previous videos, although I think that the only difference is the fact that we have added a rule for the hrefs, in the sense that since we have a blue background or so, and considering the fact that the href have also a blue color, I think it's going to be a lot better if we were to add like a white color to it, so that it's going to increase the visibility of those. But for the rest of the CSS rules, all of them are exactly the same as we had in our previous videos. Alright, so let's actually give our application an awesome title, which is gonna be Actors Management. Alright, and probably we can just put that on one line. Then we'll create an h1, in which we will say that this is going to be the home page, basically the initial page that is going to be open whenever we open this file. And inside of it we'll actually start creating our list of actors. So for that we'll create a div, and since that div has numbers in front of it, it means the fact that we have an order list. So for that, for each item we'll create an li. So we'll have an li for Dwayne Johnson, then we'll have another li for Will Smith, another one for Al Pacino, another one for Brad Pitt, and then another one for Bruce Willis. Alright, but I think that you might have guessed the fact that our second requirement is going to be the fact that whenever we will click on Dwayne Johnson, for instance, we should be taken to his personal page. And in our current scenario we cannot really do that. And basically the way we can do that is to actually create like an ahref inside of the li tag. Alright, so we'll actually create an ahref, and for now don't point it to anything, then close the a tag and check our changes in the browser. Alright, so our application is looking pretty good so far, and we have the option to click on Dwayne Johnson, but of course that right now we won't be taken anywhere, as I mentioned. One thing over here is the fact that we cannot really click on the one button and still be redirected to that page that we want. So for that, the fix is going to be pretty simple, and in Visual Studio Code you have the option to hold the Alt key and then press up. So basically the ahref will actually wrap the li tag in it. And to do the same thing for the closing tag, we actually need to hold the Alt key and then press down key. So let's actually save our changes and look into the browser again. Okay, so basically we can see that we have an indication mark of the fact that we have the possibility to click on the number 1 as well and still be redirected to whatever page we will have in the future. Alright, so actually we will do the same for the following ones. So we will have an ahref, okay, and click on the Will Smith, hold the Alt key and press up a couple of times, and do exactly the same for the next ones. Alright, so far we have constructed the list of actors. Whenever we click on a specific actor, for now we won't be redirected to his personal page, but we'll take care of that in a few minutes. Our next thing that we will need to do is actually display the information about the fact that we have the option to click on an actor to view his details. So for that, we'll create another div in which we will create a B from bold, and inside of it we'll actually create an underline tag. If you're not sure why those tags are appearing in here, please make sure to visit the text formatter's video. So over here we can actually write, you can click on an actor to view his details. Alright, so let's actually save our changes and check the browser, and boom, it's looking pretty good. And last but not least, we will have our final section in which we will display an add a new actor link. So for that, we'll create an h2, and inside of it we'll create an ahref. For now it won't point us to anything, but inside of it we'll write add a new actor text. Alright, let's actually try to save it and check the browser. Okie dokie. So besides the fact that we don't have any links so far, our first page is basically done. Alright, our second page is going to be the add a new actor page. And for that, we will actually press Ctrl N on Visual Studio Code and then Ctrl S so that we save the file, and we'll give it a name of addActor.html. Press enter, and we have our second file, in which we'll start by creating an HTML tag. Then we'll create a head tag in which, if we want this style, basically the blue background and the paddings and basically everything that we have over here, we actually need to copy the whole style and put it in the head as well. Because on this page, if we don't add those CSS changes, those won't be available to this particular page. If you want to experiment on your own, please make sure to actually remove those changes into the add actor page and actually check the browser, because you will see the fact that the CSS changes won't be reflected on this particular page. Alright, then we'll need to also copy the title, which is Actors Management, and that was basically the head tag. Then we have the body tag. So over here into the add actor page, we have multiple sections. So we will create the first name section, then we'll create the last name section, then we'll create an age section, then an upload picture section, also an description section, and finally for our form we will create a submit section. And last but not least, we will create another link to go back to the home page. So for starters, we will create our h1, in which we will write add actor page. Alright, and then we will create a div, inside of which we will create a form. That form is going to have the action of post, and we'll start creating divs. So our first div is going to be consisting of a label for the first name, in which we will write the first name, add the break tag, then we will create an input type text, name is going to be the first name and ID is going to be the first name as well. Alright, so this is basically our first section. Our second section is going to be pretty similar, but instead of the first name we'll have a last name. Alright, so I will just replace the text over here, and in those two places the same, and over here as well. And we can actually make those required. Alright, our first section is going to be for the age section. Then we'll have the section for upload picture. And this time we'll have an input type file with the name of upload picture and also the ID of upload picture. Then we'll have the description section, in which we'll write enter description. Over here we change the name and the ID to description, but this time instead of the input we will have a text area. Alright, and our final section of the form is going to be an input type submit and a value of add actor. Alright, so this is basically our form. Next, we we'll create another div with an h2 in which we will create an ahref. And over here, since we basically have these couple of pages, Visual Studio Code has a nice suggestion of the fact that, okay, if we want to create like an href, you have the option to select one of those two pages. And we will select the HTML tutorial 1 page. So that we make sure that whenever we click on this link, we will be redirected to this HTML tutorial 1 page, which is nothing but the home page actually. Alright, and make sure to close the AE tag, and in between we'll write something like back to home page. Alright, let's actually try to save it and check our changes. We didn't do one thing. We didn't actually make the connection between the HTML tutorial 1 and the add actor page. We only make the connection from the add actor to the HTML tutorial 1. But over here it's going to be pretty simple, and inside the ahref tag we'll need to write an add actor.html. So we can actually save it and check our browser. So whenever we click on the add a new actor page, we will be redirected to the add actor page, in which we will have a form consisting of first name, last name, age, picture, a description, and also an add actor button. And then we will have the back to home page link, alright, which works pretty fine. Alright, and our last piece of the puzzle is going to be to create a page for basically each actors. So for that, we'll press again Ctrl N and then Ctrl S, and we'll start with Dwayne Johnson, I believe. DwayneJohnson.html. So we'll start with creating a new HTML tag, then a new head tag, copy basically both the title and also the style, paste them over here, and inside the body tag we'll write our code. Alright, so we'll create an H1 with Dwayne Johnson's name. Then we'll create an IMG src. For now it's going to be blank. Then we'll create a break, or maybe a couple of break tags, and we'll have the section in which we will display the age. So we'll create a bold tag for the age, and next we'll create a span in which we'll actually display the age. Okay, create a break tag, and then we'll create another div in which we will write the description. So more or less we'll have the same approach as when we wrote the age section, and we'll write description, and inside of here we'll actually leave it empty for now. So over here our final section is to actually link back to the HTML tutorial 1 page. So for that the same procedure applies as we had in the add actors.html file. So we have a div in which we add an h2, and inside of it we'll create an ahref of, and this time we can directly specify HTML tutorial 1.html, and we'll write back to home page. Alright, so let's actually check our changes. But before that we actually need to specify the link to the Dwayne Johnson's page, so that we make sure that whenever we will click on the Dwayne Johnson, we will actually be redirected to the brand new page that we have just created. Alright, so we have the age 49 description, we don't have any description, and then we have back to home page. So for that, in order to get the image and also the description, I think we can write Dwayne Johnson, and over here we have a short description, and we can press Ctrl C, and over here we can actually press Ctrl V. Probably what we can do is actually press an enter and create a break tag, so that we make sure that we don't paste this huge text on only one line. And maybe if you go to images, we have a bunch of images with him, but if we click for instance on the first one and right click and click on the copy image address, we have the image URL. So let's actually try to paste it over here into the src. Let's actually try to save it just to make sure it's working properly. Alright, so I think it's working pretty good. We have a big image, the age, a nice description, and back to home page. Great. Another small adjustment that we can make is to actually pass in the width attribute and limit the image to the width of 200 pixels. And if we won't specify the height property, I think that it will automatically calculate the height so that it will match the image proportions. So this is basically our first page with Dwayne Johnson, and I'm pretty sure that you already assumed the fact that all of those pages will look exactly similar to this one. And this is basically what we will do right now. So we will actually create a new file, press Ctrl S, and our second page will be willsmith.html. So what we can do is actually press Ctrl A so that we basically copy the whole thing, and then Ctrl V so that we paste the whole page basically. So the head part will actually remain the same. Then we'll change the H1 because we won't have Dwayne Johnson anymore, but we will have Will Smith. Alright, we will need to also change the image, change the actual age, and change the description. So let's actually write Will Smith. Click on the first picture, right click, copy image address, and paste it over here. We'll keep the width of 200. Then we can actually press on all, and yeah, we can actually get his both the description and also his age, which is 53. So let's actually paste it over here, and somewhere in the middle hit an enter and also a break tag and enter 53. Alright, so let's actually check it out, but before that we actually need to reference it over here. So we'll have an ahref of willsmith.html. Hit F5, and whenever we press the Will Smith, boom, 53, description, picture, and back to home page. Great. Our third one is going to be the Al Pacino. Ctrl N, Ctrl S, alpacino.html, copy Will Smith, paste it over here, and we'll write his name, and over here we'll actually write Al Pacino. Alright, so we can go to images, select the first image, copy image address, and paste it over here. And when we go to all, we can actually copy the description, and also we can see that he's 81. Okay, copy the description and add the break tag over here and add the age of 81. And last but not least, we'll need to reference it over here. Then we'll start with Brad Pitt, and we'll press Ctrl N and Ctrl S so that we basically save that page. And we'll actually copy the image address, paste it over here, and go on the all tab so that we basically get a description, and he's 58. So we'll write 58, add the break tag, and last but not least, we'll need to reference him over here. And our final page is going to be the Bruce Willis page. Alright, so everything looks the same. Over here into the Brad Pitt's page, I forgot to change his name, and over here Bruce Willis. Alright, so the same procedure applies. That is the fact that we click on his picture, we copy the photo address, paste it over here, click on the Alt tab and copy the description, and also we've seen his age, he is 66. Okay, great. So let's actually try to see whether we did the proper changes or not. So our first page, which is actually going to be the home page, looks quite alright. We don't need to change anything to it. Then we'll add a new actor page. We can write the first name, a last name, an age, upload some picture. Then we'll create a description, and we have the option to add an actor. And our final piece of the puzzle for this page is the back to home page. Great. Then we have 5 more pages to check. So we have the Dwayne Johnson page, which is looking really good. Then we have the Will Smith page, which also looks good. Then we have the Al Pacino page, which looks good as well. Brad Pitt, also good. And last but not least, we have the Bruce Willis page, which apparently doesn't work. And that is the fact that I'm pretty sure that we've missed to reference it over here, but we can easily add it. Alright, so hit refresh, and whenever we press on the Bruce Willis page, it's pretty good as well. So that was basically our final application in HTML. The whole purpose of this application was to actually try to add in as many features as we could, and also to target as many HTML concepts that we have previously learned. So I really hope that you enjoyed this video, and our next video is going to be our last video when it comes to the HTML series. So if you like this application and think that it's useful, please subscribe to the channel for more content. Great, enough with the chit chat, we'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the content and if you consider that it's at least 1% relevant, then please leave a like, a share, and subscribe to the channel for more content. We'll see you on the next one.